Question 1. In what way does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Our new production piece, A Different Kind of Animal, is a dark short film that follows the life of bipolar disorder sufferer Jake Stone and how he deals with the consequences of the actions of what he does when he can't control himself. It is a film that asks questions of the human mind and analyses the deterioration of people dominated by mental health problems and their struggles with following the norms of society. We have used multiple character arcs to tell the story, further adding to the essence of mania and confusion that the narrative delivers. Though I have seen many great movies that deal with similar hard-hitting themes of mental health, such as Darren Aronofsky's Mathematical Mindbender Pi, which gives a somewhat similar character study in terms of social alienation, or my favourite movie of all time, Punch Drunk Love, which paints a somewhat beautifully bittersweet love story out of anxiety, my main influence came as I watched John S. Baird's directorial debut, Filth, a critically acclaimed but audience-dividing adaptation of Irvine Welsh's controversial novel. After seeing James McAvoy's astonishing performance as a detective solving a murder whilst balancing his job with his mental life troubles and drug abuse, I felt compelled to create something that dealt with similar ethics. It's not the first time an Irvine Welsh novel has translated well onto screen, not least with the infamously graphic Trainspotting, though for me, Filth was able to create a slightly more compelling and emotional character study. A second film I felt strongly inspired by was Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners, a visually stunning, highly emotional, character-driven drama starring Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal about child abduction. The detective themes intrigued me, and I added an additional character to the screenplay later on in production in the form of Detective, which also helped tie some loose narrative threads together to create a more cohesive structure. Prisoners is another meticulously crafted, beautifully shot work from a director who seems to be getting better and better with every film he makes, recently directing the intriguing, unconventional narrative of Enemy, and currently working on the upcoming Blade Runner sequel, which will hopefully allow him to become an established director in the mainstream. After writing a not-so-descriptive treatment that felt messy and lacking in finality, I wanted to plan the short film at the next stage to an extent I felt comfortable with, so that we weren't making scenes up as we went along in a false sense of finger painting. I wanted to write a professional and in-depth screenplay that incorporated directorial vision as well as character-appropriate dialogue. To gain influence for my screenplay, I looked at some other screenplays online as a guide for what I should be aiming for, and one that stuck out to me was that of my favourite writer and directors, Paul Thomas Anderson's debut movie, Hard Eight, originally titled Sydney before a stubborn studio forced him into the name change. The screenplay for this intelligent, stripped-down and intimate movie that deals with multiple compelling character studies showed me what a first-time writer should be aiming for and how to do it well. I also took a look at a screenplay for one of his later works and my second favourite movie of all time, Magnolia, an ensemble piece that manages to deal significantly with many characters to an overwhelmingly emotional extent, showing me how I could juggle so many as 3 character arcs significantly in such a short piece. To make sure our actors knew how to play their characters in tune with my direction, as well as with a sense of self-influence, we arranged meetings with all to discuss the roles in personal detail.